talk to you. So thank you for service. That's right. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right. Oh, wow. Hey, how are you?
Good morning, sir.
So nice to meet you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Sorry,
I'm
what's your
Jamie
name?
Boehm.
Jane?
Jamie.
Jamie, nice
and
to
I'm
meet
the
you.
service chief for prosthetics and orthotics.
Okay.
So what we're known for is rapid turnaround.
Yeah.
So we got to return them to duty. So to make a prosthetic limb, we start out with casting them.
Okay.
So we use old school plaster of Paris. It gets the job done the best.
Okay.
And then our certified prosthetist orthotists go into a lab. They pour it with plaster. It makes a mold, and we actually modify that. So we have to take away plaster and add in areas where they're bony. And then we make their first check socket. This is the first socket, and that's what goes up against their limb.
And what's this made of?
This is actually made of plastic, and so we can heat and change it.
Wait, so you'll use the plaster basically to make a mold of their leg.
Exactly.
And then you start,
And then
got
we
it.
pour it, and it makes a positive model.
I see.
And then we use rasps to actually take that off.
Okay.
And then we get them in this plastic socket. So that's what's actually on them.
Sure.
And then, of course, everything underneath is a Lego that we put together.
Okay.
We
Wow.
can do that in an hour and a half.
Wait, you can go from this to this in an hour and a half?
We can.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so we have a very skilled team of technicians that help us out because we've got lots of patients. So
Sure.
as a clinician, we do that. So a patient will stay in this socket for a period of time, a couple weeks to a few, maybe 2 months. Once their limb has stabilized, meaning they're not changing volume, we can finally get them in the socket they want, which is the carbon fiber sockets right there.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
they're
And do they
much
get to-
lighter.
When you say changing volume, you mean like their leg just responds to having the cast on?
So their actual limb starts out very, very big, and then as they go through their rehab process, it shrinks down.
I see.
We have the ability, because we're right down the hallway, as soon as they lose the fit of the socket, meaning they're moving around in it, we can recast them and get them up in an hour and a half and back to therapy.
Okay.
And then we do orthotics to return patients to duty. So we have the IDEO. The IDEO is a return to duty AFO. So all that means is ankle foot orthosis. So think you have your limb still, but it's not working how you want it to. And so that is jumping out of airplanes, jumping out of helicopters, whatever you need to do. Everything breaks, we'll be honest with you.
Okay.
So we can repair that in-house here as well.
So,
and then,
so how many of because as a person's leg, for example, shrinks down, how many casts will you go through before you get to like something more permanent?
that's a great question. So depending on the patient and how they were injured, Sam behind us.
Hey Sam, how you doing?
Sam will joke that he was in one socket for so long he didn't have that big shrink.
Okay.
But most of our amputees, they could go anywhere from maybe 5. And some patients who have invaginations, burns, some comorbidities that led to maybe nerve damage, they could be up to 15 to 20.
Okay.
It just all depends on their situation, but because we have that PT and OT right here, we can get things done faster and get them moving quicker.
And do people get to choose what it looks like?
Yeah, so they can do camo, they can do whatever they want. You get a t-shirt, and our technical team actually does that specific. Some of our patients, we put things on the inside because sometimes it's not really good with the uniform when you want your flames.
Oh, I see.
So we try to hide them on the inside, so you can have your personality on the inside, but still meet the requirements for your uniform.
That's awesome.
And then last but not least, our upper extremity program. Upper extremity is very difficult to replace, and to be honest with you, it's still just a tool. The most well-known upper extremity device is the myoelectric. So using electrodes inside the socket, it reads the muscle signals of the muscles that are still intact. And so the patient is trained with OT to fire those muscles or think about opening and closing their hand they're missing.
So it's not a replacement as much as just something they can kind of learn.
Exactly.
So
you can't.
And this one will open and close.
Exactly.
Oh, interesting.
And you can program it. So this one is just right now, it's for rotation as an example. But on the inside of these sockets is really where all the hard work goes into. And so inside that socket is batteries, wires. It's about 16 hours of work to fabricate this. But because we do it all in-house, we can control it and get it done.
Sure.
Yeah.
And do artists help with the crafting of the hands?
Absolutely, ma'am. So that is actually someone who comes in and hand paints that for us. The patients will sit and, yes, it's function, but it's also some fashion in the sense of if you lost your tattoo when you were in an IED blast,
Sure.
and that tattoo was for somebody else, it's very important to them, and our artists will actually put the tattoo back onto the limb.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very important for returning someone, not only to, if the mission is going back to the military, but if they cannot go back to that mission due to their injuries, they're going to find a new mission, and that's going to carry them there.
Sure, sure. Okay. And so you guys have the technology in-house to do all this stuff?
We do.
Okay. And that has to be relatively recent. I mean, I don't think that we had this 20 years ago, did we?
We actually did.
Okay, really? Okay.
Technology, so in prosthetics and orthotics, that's where we get our technology,
Yep.
all the research, and
Sure.
I can tell you almost every single amputee in this room has broken a new top-of-the-line item so that it could be better and meet
Yep.
the needs for active duty. So yeah, the prosthetic knees that you see here, these are all made and FDA approved, but we set them up, align them, and then our patients figure out how to break them so that we can tell the companies, hey, you said it was return to duty, but somebody figured out it's not.
Oh, okay.
And we work with them to make sure that it meets our needs.
Got it.
And will people need multiple prosthetic limbs for different purposes?
They will. So we always make sure that we are meeting their goals and the mission's goals. So obviously running,
Yeah.
Sam, case in point. But keep in mind, people have children. And if you're bilateral upper or below bilateral above knee amputee, and you want to get on the floor with your children, it's not always easy to get on the floor with your children with two full setups. And so sometimes we'll do shorties, where they have a socket and then they have a very short foot right underneath them, so they're actually at the level of their children and can play.
That's interesting. Okay.
But with that being said, a lot of our bilateral above knee amputees, they had very short limbs, burns and vaginations, made it very difficult to fit a prosthesis, and more so meaning that socket design. So some of those patients have now moved to osseointegration.
Okay, so
Are
that
you-
is integrated into the...
You got it, ma'am. So we like to show our famous 3D printed bone.
Okay.
This is actually heterotopic ossification. So this
What
is
does that mean?
This is bone that grows into soft tissue. So trauma.
Okay.
Even if you get a hip surgery, this could happen to someone, a car accident. It's not just our patients, but it's very, very common in our patients.
Okay.
This leads to a lot of fit issues, if you can imagine, inside a socket.
Yep.
We heat relieve as much as we can, but ultimately, sometimes a socket's just not going to work well.
Sure.
And so our orthopedic surgeons, they take this abutment and they implant it into the actual femur, humerus, or even the lower
Wow.
extremity. And then the prosthesis goes right here. So there's an adapter that this goes into.
Yep.
Okay.
We always say lefty loosey, righty tighty, pops out, and then the leg goes underneath.
Okay.
For our bilateral above knee amputees, it meant spending more time in the wheelchair or less time in the wheelchair.
Sure.
And most of them will tell you they've regained a lot of their independence. For upper extremity amputees, they were going from maybe 1 to 2 hours of wear time for their arm to 18 to 24 hours a day.
Wow. That's a huge improvement. That's a huge improvement.
Huge improvement. So there's that technology.
And this is stainless steel, I assume, or I mean, does the body respond well to this?
Yeah,
It does?
so
Okay.
we have really good outcome measures from it.
That's great.
We've been doing it here for roughly 7
Yeah, it
years.
is.
But yeah, so the funny thing about that is once you have this, once it's a part of your skeletal system, it helps negate that weight of the prosthesis. Prosthesis is supposed
So
to
it balances it? Is that what happens?
exactly.
Okay.
Because when you have a prosthesis, it's supposed to be approximately how much that limb weighed.
Yeah.
So when it's attached to the skeletal system and has a good suspension system, it helps with
Sure.
that.
Well, thank you, Jamie.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very nice to meet you. And congratulations.
Thank you. Thanksgiving.
Good luck.
Thanksgiving.
Okay, good luck.
Appreciate it.
Sir, I'm going to introduce you.
How are you?
You made it. You didn't go into labor.
Explain what he is on and why.